Okay, so I want to go over what I had to deal with this past Friday in the afternoon. Had a really, really bad backfire from a tailpipe. And what I ended up doing to fix that particular problem is it was two things were causing the problem. One of them was, as you saw in the previous video, I got iridium spark plugs that I installed on the intake side. When I was talking to my nephew about this, first thing he asked me was, "Did you buy them online?" I said, "Yeah." He's like, he had the same issue. Every time he bought spark plugs online, they were usually bad. They were almost always bad, and he would have the exact same problem. He would have his vehicle would run really, really bad. So he just stopped buying them online and went directly to like an auto parts store, like O'Reilly's, Advanced Auto, that sort of thing. And the other, that was part of it. Those plugs were just bad. I just assumed they were gonna work out, but they didn't last. They only lasted a few days. And the other thing was fuel. I checked the thank goodness for that fuel gauge, but anyhow, I checked the fuel pressure on the regulator, and it was at 1.5, so it was way low. So the engine was starving for gas. And what I ended up doing, as far as the spark plugs, I still had the previous set on this side, so I switched them. I just switched them around. Put the iridiums on this side just to have something to plug, to attach the spark plug wires to, and then cleaned them out. The spark plugs that were originally on here, I've just cleaned them out, the ends, and stick them on here. The truck's running pretty good. And once I realized that the fuel pressure was as low as it was, I slowly started cranking it up while the engine was on. And I ended up taking like Weber recommends that the highest you should go is to 3 psi, but I ended up cranking it up all the way to 5. I read up on the forums, at least a handful of guys said that they took their the fuel pressure on their setup to 5, and the vehicle ran good. And as well as adjusting that, I also readjusted the speed screw and the mixture screws on either side, and just tinkered with them a little bit until the truck ran good, and the backfire went away almost immediately. And I did that yesterday, which is Saturday. I was tinkering with the truck for a little bit. Let me turn her on for you real quick so you guys can see at least that part, because it was bad. Again, the misfire, or the backfire, was so bad and so loud. We were, I guess, what you would consider the downtown of the area that we're at, and man, the backfire was just echoing from all over the place. It sounded like gunfire. But anyway, waiting for that radio to turn on, but she's idles fairly steady at 11 to 1200 RPMs. And before, when I installed those iridium spark plugs, they worked at first, but as the week went on, I noticed that the RPMs were getting lower and lower. At first I mistook it for a change in the weather, because we had a bit of a what do you call it, the weather got cold right after that hurricane we just had. And I just assumed it was because of that. But sounds pretty good. Hopefully you guys can hear me. Running pretty smooth. So that was a fairly easy fix once I realized, did some research and looked up what would possibly cause that type of backfire from the tailpipe, because that's never actually happened to me before, not on this truck anyway. Other thing that I also learned, and I have to keep reminding myself, is my nephew also kind of turned me on to this. Whatever gas stations you get gas at, try to get gas at the same places that you typically do, because when you start going to other places that you normally wouldn't go to, from what he was saying, certain stores have a certain amount of water in their gasoline mixture, or whatever you want to call it. And if you ever had this happen, it only happens to me when I go to certain stores and get gas at those stores. You know, when you turn your ignition off, turn your engine off completely, you can hear the engine still, like it's surging. And it's not doing as much now that I filled up the tank and burned out, pretty much emptied out the last batch of gas that I had. That was also part of the problem. You'll have your engine will run like crap if you have shitty gas in it. See, that time it actually it's been normalizing more and more the more I drive it, or just have the engine running. But yeah, again, that's how I managed to fix that backfire, was to just replace the spark plugs that I had, because that has happened before. You know, where you buy something online and it's just a dead on arrival. And it's kind of a risk you take. So I guess from here on out, we'll no longer be buying, spark plugs online. I'll go directly to an auto parts store. And if you're in a position to check what your fuel pressure is, check that out as well. Again, I got lucky that it was something minor that I was easily able to fix and adjust. So, but yeah, hopefully that will help you out, and give you a heads up on what to stay away from. It's not so much that iridium spark plugs themselves are bad, it's just like whatever manufacturer happens to be making that batch that you got, because they're not always like good quality. Anyway, hopefully that makes sense to you guys, and I'll see you.